Hello there! In this video, I'm going to be showing you all the plugins that will help keep you alive in the wilderness and give you an edge over your competition. It's going to be really simple. I'm going to speed through it in kind of a rant style, so try to keep up. We're going to be using the Runelite client. If you guys want to get it, you want to go right to the RuneScape homepage just to make sure you don't download any phishing links. Click the Runelite link. It'll take you right to the site. It should be runelite.net. Make sure it has this little lock symbol on the top left. If you go to runelite.com, any of those sites, those are most likely scams and they will hack your account. A lot of people have been caught with that before. So just download from here, and that will be all you need. And then all the plugins we're going to be installing will be found here in the plugin hub in the top right next to the wrench. You can just search them in here and download them and use them at your own discretion. One other thing I want to recommend you guys to use, you don't have to do this, but I really recommend it if you're a PKer especially, is the Jagex Launcher. It's a client made specifically by Jagex. You can launch Runelite for it, and it allows you to one-click login. You can bypass Authenticator. You don't even have to type your password in. You just click Play Now. And one other hidden benefit of using this that I don't think a lot of people know about is it allows you to hop worlds faster. The time between world hops on this client is significantly faster than if you were just using a regular Runelite launcher. But yeah, one-click login, hop worlds faster. Definitely recommend you use the Jagex Launcher. You can load all your accounts onto it, and you won't even have to type in the password for any of them. It's really convenient. Definitely recommend downloading that. So without any further ado, we're going to jump right into it to our first plugin. It will be Player Indicators. Player Indicators is pretty straightforward. It basically when you're in the wilderness, other opponents and players will show up on the map as a white dot. If they're your friend, they'll be a green dot. If in clan chat, purple dot, so on and so forth. Player Indicators just allows you to draw names over players' heads. You can highlight enemies. You can even draw tiles underneath of them. There's a lot of different settings you can turn on for it. But it just helps be more aware. It's very useful for hardcore Iron Men to like know if PKers are coming on your screen. Pip's going to come up here in 1 second and give us a live demonstration. As you can see, Pip's name shows up in white above his head. You can change the color of this with the plugin. You can make it red, any color you want really. I like white whenever I'm looking for other players just because it's the most abrasive color for the wilderness. It has the most contrast on your map. If you want, you can even set it so it draws on the minimap. There I can see his name on the minimap on the top right of my screen. So that's the Player Indicator plugin. Definitely recommend it if you're a hardcore Iron Man or if you're camping out weird spots like the King Black Dragon's Lair or someone that requires extensive scouting. It's a good plugin to have. Alright, the next plugin on this list is going to be the Wilderness Multi-Lines plugin. Another one pretty straightforward. Basically, it just draws a line from where the single boundary to the multi-boundary begins. You can even show spear lines, so if you would get frozen anywhere within this yellow area, you're spearable with a Dragon Spear into multi. I've died for a lot of big +1s. I have gotten maced, speared, specced out by multi-clans a million times. I wish I had this plugin sooner. But you can even change the color of the lines if you want with this slider here. I like to use like this nice maroon color because it's kind of like unabrasive on the eyes. It just kind of blends in nicely. I don't usually show the spear line because I know them myself. However, it is a very useful plugin when PKing near multi-areas like the altar or even up here at Magebank. Alright, next up on the list is the PvP Performance Tracker. This was actually developed by my good friend Mazar. Basically, it just tells you all the information about your fight. I'm going to bolt Pip here. As you can see right here in the bottom right, it shows both of our damage with our names. You can customize this to show whatever stats you want. It can show damage. It can show... Sit the fuck down, Pip. Sorry. Okay. Chill. I'm in max.
Dude.
I don't know why. I panicked. I thought you were going to kill me. But basically, it can show you your ring, your ammo. It can show... This is the settings for the overlay. Yeah, wait. Now I can't even see the thing on the... I'm sorry. Come back, Pip. You can set it to show off-prayer hits, deserved damage, magic hits, offensive prayer. And if you click on this on the sidebar, the PvP fight history, it'll actually show your fight damage, how much damage you dealt, how much you deserve to deal, splashes, ghost barrages, basically all the statistics you need during your fight. The only one that's really important for deep wildy fighting is damage dealt. That way when you're like in a fight with an opponent, you can see how much damage you've done versus them. If you know most people bring an average of 9 brews, they should be running out around 700 damage. So it helps to gauge whether or not you should stay in a fight, whether or not you should run. And yeah, it's just a good plugin to have all around to gauge your skill against other PKers. Alright, next up we've got bank tag layouts and bank tags. You're going to want to make sure you install both of these plugins in order for this to work the way I'm going to show you. Basically, if you've ever played Call of Duty, it works a lot like that. You can just set up custom layouts and loadouts so you don't have to pick through your bank and find all your gear. All you have to do is click this little plus icon, name the tag. We'll call this Max Gear PK. Scroll down to the tag that it's made, And this is where bank tag layouts comes in. You'll click this white double arrow and click preview auto layout, and boom, it will just make a layout for the exact gear you're wearing and even set it up exactly to pull it out perfectly. So if I bank all my gear here, let me get rid of these keys. All you have to do is withdraw. Oh, the keys actually are going to fuck it up a little bit, but that's fine. All you have to do is pull the items out in order, and you will gear up perfectly, just like this. You equip the first row, and then you just withdraw the rest as if it were your inventory. I know the keys are messing it up, but you guys can see what I mean here. Basically, it will just gear you exactly as your inventory was, and just like that, I'm re-geared and can go back out and fight. Bank tags and bank tag layouts. If you're watching this video and you're interested in wilderness content, subscribe to the channel. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe if you don't want to anymore. Alright, the next plugin we're going to show is Menu Entry Swapper. If you've played this game a lot, or you PVM, or have ever trained prayer, I'm sure you've heard of this plugin, but this is a nice use for the wilderness. I've never actually used it like this, but this is just a good use for it. All you have to do is have it enabled, and you should just be able to shift right-click an item. And you can swap left-click for whatever teleport you want. This way, whenever you're trying to tele out from somewhere, if you want to right-click your glory really quick to tele to Edgeville, you can just click your gear tab, one-click it with a left-click, and tele out instantly. This can also be used for the magic skill cape. When caping other players to TB them whenever you're on Ancients in the wilderness, you can shift, click it, and swap the left-click to Spellbook. That way you don't have to right-click and do it every time. You can just click Spellbook, click the Spellbook you want to switch to, and just skip one extra click. Pretty useful. That is Menu Entry Swapper. Alright, the next plugin we got is Entity Hider. This will just allow you to hide other players, or mainly the main use is to hide yourself. There's a lot of settings here. You can hide all kinds of things. You can hide pets, projectiles, players, friends, ignores. You can hide all kinds of different things. A lot of different settings. But the main use for the wildy is whenever you're Bridding or NHing, you can toggle it to hide yourself. What you'll want to toggle for that is hide local player. And if you toggle it on, it should just make you invisible. This is useful when people are like fighting you and DDing you over and over. That way you can see what they're doing underneath of you. DDing mean like they're standing on top of you all throughout the fight when they freeze you. Here to help me with an example is my beautiful assistant Pip. Let's say I'm fighting this guy and he just keeps freezing me and standing underneath me over and over. It makes it really hard for me to see what he's doing. If I'm like spam clicking him, you know, he's underneath me. I can't tell what move he's going to use next. If I toggle Entity Hider, I can see him underneath me the whole time, change my prayers accordingly, and like, you know, it just lets you see what they're doing a lot more. A big complaint that a lot of people have is they feel disoriented when not being able to see their own player. I personally feel like this as well. So a good plugin to pair with this is the Player Outlines plugin. I'm going to turn it on right now for you guys. Basically, it just gives you a little outline of your own character, and it gives them like a little aura, so that you can always still see kind of your own character's ghost underneath of the person you're fighting. And that way you can still have a bit of a semblance of like what gear you have on, what your overheads are, and that type of thing. So Entity Hider paired with Player Outlines is a pretty strong combo for NHing other players. Alright, this next plugin is for all my pures out there. I know you guys know I have Young Goater, my pure account from the Fresh Start Worlds. I recently moved him over to the main game, and this is a good plugin just to help from ruining your pure, like to never let it happen. It's called Attack Styles. Basically, if you turn it on, you can change what to show. If you don't want to gain attack XP, defense XP, magic, whatever, you pick it. You can turn it on and it will disable that attack style so that you can never do it. Sometimes if you're on a pure and you click your spec weapon and go to spec, you might accidentally click block and ruin your pure build and get 2 defense. Attack styles will make sure that never happens and you can stay 1 defense on your pure safely. Alright, this next plugin is more for sweaty PKers and scouting out weird locations like Mage Bank, or let's say you were hunting a hardcore on like a PvP world. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at this guy, Pip.
Whoa. What's he doing?
What is he doing? What's he wearing? He says Elio. Eli. Don't be happy, bro. I'm gonna
Uh-oh.
What's he wearing? Oh my god. I don't have coins though. He's gonna freeze ED me. He's dead. No, no, no! No! Anyways, Detached Camera lets you do exactly what it looks like. Pip, if you would go to the axe hut door. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can always scout doors no matter where you're at on the map. As long as you're within render distance of them, you can turn on the Detached Camera plugin. And it lets you move around freely with the Detached Camera. And if I was scouting someone in this axe hut per se, and I wanted to know when they left it so I could rush them, I can sit right here with the Detached Camera off screen and see when the door opens and closes, as you can see Pip going in and out right now, even though my character is way down here. One other good use for this is that you can see bolts and spells from far away. So as you can see, Pip is in my render distance right now, and he just went out. Even though he's going to be way down here off screen, you should be able to see his bolts flying and hitting a wolf way off screen down here. As you can see, even though he's off my map and I can't see him at all, I can still see his bolts flying and shooting towards enemies. So if there was somebody safe spotting the Chaos Elemental or casting their spells in the Mage Arena, you could use this to scout something safely off screen without spooking your prey. For our next plugin, we've got the NPC Aggression Timer. This does basically exactly what it sounds like. It puts a box around your character and lets you know when you are de-aggroed. If you don't know what that means, it takes 10 minutes to de-aggro in the game, which means any NPC in that area will not attack you. This used to be really useful in the old wilderness before NPCs stopped PJing you off. But nowadays, if you want to skull trick at Mage Bank or do anything weird like that, you're going to want to turn this plugin on. In order to make it proc and like actually show the area around you, you need to teleport or like reload the map chunks that you're going to be on. A good way to do this at Mage Bank is to come in here. If you just jump in this pool and then jump back out, it should spawn the aggro lines. You can turn on always active or not. That just basically shows your lines. And the lines will update depending on where you step. Basically, you have two big squares of map chunk around your character, so you can kind of finagle them and get them where you want. If you step here, it'll like lengthen that region. If you step here, it'll remove this other square and use it to lengthen it this way. And you can kind of set it up where you want, and this little timer will count down. And once these 10 minutes are up, all of these bats will become unaggressive, and I can run all around in these tiles without re-aggroing the NPCs in the area. Alright, I get a lot of questions about this one on my stream. People always ask, Eliop, did you max? Since when do you have a max cape? Are you really PKing with your kits? It's actually the plugin called Weapon/Gear Animation Replacer. It's just like the Party plugin or the Fashionscape plugin. You can do it anywhere in the game, including the Wilderness. It just lets you change your gear and make it look like anything else in the game. It's really simple to use. You toggle the plugin, and you click this little dragon mace. And if you just click this plus, click any, and you can pick whatever. You can pick whatever item you're wearing. Let's say I want to change my boots. I click the Wizzy boots. Click the other slot. You can make it look like whatever you want. I could be wearing Primordial boots. As you can see, I have a max cape and twisted kits on, even though I don't really have them. You can just toggle it on and off. It's kind of convenient if you want to PK with like a mutagen on, even though you've never unlocked one, or you want to wear twisted capes, or if you're like me and you just really like the way your hair looks with that max cape. Oh, it just looks so good. This plugin is pretty sick. Good for streamers, and if you're trying to make videos. Alright, this is a plugin that almost all PKers use, and this can even be used in PVM. Anything that makes you switch a lot. The anti-drag plugin used to be something that was only allowed in cheat clients, but Jagex have since changed their stance on it, and you're now allowed to use it in PvP with Runelite. There's a drag delay. The more you increase it, the more it will delay the time that you're able to drag items. As you can see, I only use 8. It's a very light drag delay. So if I want to drag an item, I can just drag it. But let's say we turned it all the way up to something like 2032 or something. It'll take a long time to drag items. Like, see how long it sticks in place. This just helps us so when you're switching, you don't have to worry about dragging your items around. You can see if I turn it off, the items just kind of drag around a lot easier, and you can mess up your switches. Anti-drag is really nice for NHing at a high level. I think less is more with this plugin. Sometimes you'll mess your inventory up. Like, let's say you spec and your items get moved around, and you want to move them back up to the top of your inventory. If you have a really high delay, you're going to have to go like this and wait. I think around 7 to like 10 is a good anti-drag setting to have. And you can also toggle it for shift only. That way it'll only work if you're holding shift, but I don't really recommend that. Alright, this is a plugin that I actually don't have myself, but I've been seeing a lot of people use, and some of my friends said I should really include this. It's called Customizeable XP Drops. Basically, it lets you customize your XP drops. I've never used it, so let's find out about it together. I know that you can make it so your XP drops will just show your raw hit. I'm pretty sure that, wow, I think that actually made my drops a lot smoother. That looks really smooth compared to what I had. Let's see. That's what it looks like with it turned on. Oh yeah, wow, that's really smooth. It actually increases the frame rate of the XP drops themselves. That looks really nice. But you can also group the XP drops. I actually don't like that. I like to have my drops split for whatever reason. You can also do, where is it? Show predicted hit. This will show what you're expected to hit rather than your XP. As you can see, it shows like a 5 because it knew I was about to hit a 5. If I bolt this bat, why can't I attack it? I have my options off. 32, it knows what you're going to hit. So pretty convenient. I personally like the old XP drops. I probably won't use this plugin, but definitely worth a shot if you would like to know your exact hit calculation before casting. Alright, and the last one I have on this list is one I'm sure you've all already heard of, but I'm just going to give it a couple tweaks so you know what it's like in PvP, is the GPU plugin. this just allows you to smooth out your game. This is what normal RuneScape looks like. It's really jagged, and if you zoom out, it's like just clumps of pixels. The GPU plugin basically just gives things actual models and smooths out the game, makes it look a little more modern. You can tweak things a lot. These are my settings in case anyone was ever wondering. You can increase your FPS target, and the most important thing is you can increase your draw distance, so you can actually see further on the map. I don't know if you see the map actually getting bigger in the distance, but here, I'll shrink it down. This is useful in PvP because you can't see people from further away, but just like the thing with Detatched Camera earlier, you can render crossbows, magic, and bolts from further away. So if my draw distance is cranked up and there's some guy killing bats right here, I would be able to see his arrows hitting the bats, and it gives you a bit of an advantage for scouting. I think it just makes the game look a lot cleaner as well. Alright, one more very important timer that I actually forgot to mention, shout out to Pip for reminding me, is timers. It's a very basic plugin. Most people already have this enabled with the default Runelite configurations. But you'll want to use this for freeze timers. It's very important. It will show you right here. All you have to do, like every other plugin, is just hold down the Alt key and you can drag around your plugins. This is also the ammo plugin. It will show you how many bolts you have equipped, but they all stack together. I like to put them right here because whenever I'm switching and Bridding, this is right in my peripheral vision. I can see what I'm looking at. I can see how long I'm frozen for. It will also show how long you're venomed for, how long you're teleblocked for, how long you have resistance to things like anti-fire, and your imbued heart. It's really nice. The timer plugin just basically keeps you updated on everything you need to know on cooldowns and such. Hopefully this video helped at least some of you guys. I hope you liked it. I know it was just a bit of a ramble style video. I have a new video on the way soon, PKing in the Edgeville dungeon. We actually PK'd absolute bank loot down there, and that should be coming out within the next week or so. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to follow me on Twitch and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.